Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever come back, and it's root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, we're out at the old ball game. Well, welcome to this premiere. I don't say that very often. And at the time that this premiere was recorded, it was actually Easter Sunday. So that's why one of the colors you can see, I picked purple. Had to do it. And I'm just kind of checking out the balance right here on the stitching for this vinyl. And it looks like I might have to make another adjustment to get that lock stitch a little bit more defined. So I'm going to turn it even a little bit further in. I'm going to give it one more run. And the machine that you're looking at, if you don't recognize it, and I don't recognize it because I got my screen pointed the wrong way, is a 1923 Singer 128. And this belongs to Kate, and it has been quite a project, to say the least. And it is knee controlled, as you can see over here on the right side. You may have seen me slide that knee controller in, and it's so easy to do it, to get it in and out. Let me see if I can go. I'm going the wrong way. Just give it a turn like this. If you've never used one of these before, you can remove it easily enough. And then to put it back in, you slide it back in right about so it's pointing at, what would that be, 9 o'clock. Slide it in and then rotate it back into place. And then you're ready to go once again. So I'm going to give this a go again, going down the vinyl, see if I can tighten up that lock stitch just a little bit more, and give it a listen. Really, really a sweet, sweet machine. All right, here we go. Yeah, let's give this a check. See if I tighten it up enough now. Yes, finally there. Took 3 runs, but vinyl is a tricky material. And as you may have seen in previous live stream type videos, there's some folks that say you need a lot of setup to do vinyl, including a Teflon foot, but I'm a rebel. Don't need a Teflon foot. Just need a lot of workshop magic, right? So we're going to zoom in on these. Zoomy. And I'll take this knee controller out so I don't bump it accidentally. And we'll take a look at our initial sew-offs on this tricky vinyl stuff. Let's see here. I think I'll come off the tripod. It's probably a little bit easier. Yeah, very nice. Let's see if I can zoom in like this so I don't create that shadow effect. So all 3 rows, you can see some beautiful top stitching on this vinyl material. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. As we turn it over, you'll look at that lock stitch. This again is 2 layers, if you can't see that from the edge. 2 layers of vinyl. And you'll notice initially we were lacking a little bit on that definition. Look at that top row there. Look at that top row. Not bad, but could be much better. And so we bumped that upper tension up right there. Where is it? There it is. We bumped that upper tension up, and we were able to bring that stitching in very nicely on that bottom row. I'll kind of come over here and go across. Yeah, much nicer. Much nicer. I got to keep it away from that light. I've got an LED light in there right now, and it's goofing around with it just a little bit. Yeah, so some really, really nice stitching to start out on this 1923 model 128. Very, very nice. The camera's saying, I don't know. I don't know about that. And as you're watching this premiere, if Susie is in the live chat, I'm going to set that right back over there. If Susie is in the live chat, we're actually in motion right now because Susie and I are heading towards the great state of Kentucky. Yeah, we're heading towards the great state of Kentucky, and going to be spending about a week and a half or so down there, and actually looking at finalizing the purchase on the next workshop area. Yeah, the next workshop area. So how about a little bit more music to celebrate that? And we'll go from there. Back the music off just a little bit so I can show you a quick little setup on this machine. And again, the great thing about the 1923 model 128 is it has this really cool ejector here. So you can pop that vibrating shuttle up and you don't have to try to get your fingernails underneath that edge to get a hold of it. Makes it a lot easier. And those of you that aren't familiar with it, I'll show you how to thread it too. Pretty easy. Take out this long bobbin first, this barbell bobbin. And when you're threading a barbell bobbin like this in a long shuttle, you're going to have the thread coming behind the back. Okay? We'll go ahead and just drop it in. And then we're going to come down this little track right there. I'm going to see if I can zoom in even a little bit closer. We've got this little track right there. Bring it down that track, all the way down to the bottom. And then we're basically going to pull it back up again to get it into that center track so that it's underneath that tension spring, right? We don't have it underneath the tension spring, we're going to be in trouble. So I brought it down, and then I brought it back up so that there's a little track, if you can imagine, coming like this and like that, almost like a V, and you've got to bring it down to the bottom and then bring it back up that center track and get it all the way underneath that tension spring. And then all we're going to do is just drop it in, literally, like so. Well, not like so, more like so. I'll guide it a little bit. There we go. Then we rotate the balance wheel, and we're going to pull that thread back up again. I'm going to spritz a little bit of water. It's incredibly dry down here right now. There's our wonderful little loopy-doopy. There we go. St. Patrick's Day makes me think of this music right away. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'm going to skip it a little bit. What did I do? Good gravy. Let's try that again. we're going to put our little slide plate back into place again. Alright, we started with vinyl. Let's do a little bit of cotton now with a quilt batting. And this is When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. Yeah. And again, I'm recording on Easter Sunday. Gotta do purple, right? Gotta do purple. Alright, I better get my knee controller back into place. Otherwise, I'm not going to go anywhere. Again, slide it in so it's at the 9 o'clock position and just rotate it down. And I'm going to turn this back a little bit because now we're dealing with cotton, right? Let's give that a try. We'll adjust a little bit more as we go. All in all, good balance. We'll adjust it a little bit more up here. Alright, I'm going to pause that real quick, at least try to. So we've got 100% cotton here with quilt batting and purple because this premiere was recorded on Easter Sunday. Yeah, not bad, but we can improve that just a little bit. And a little bit more of the setup. You saw me set up the vibrating shuttle, kind of drop that thread in and get it threaded up properly. And again, if you are just joining us, I'll show you one more time. To make it easy, we hit that little ejector button right here. Let me zoom in. Yeah, we hit that little ejector button. We can pull this out easily enough. And again, to get it threaded up, we're going to start with that long shuttle, that long bobbin. Kind of pull it out like this a little bit. Also, we should probably do a little bit of quick maintenance on this, shouldn't we? A little bit of maintenance. So I'm going to take a little bit of my kerosene oil mixture. Come out just a little bit more. A bit of my kerosene oil mixture, getting really low on that stuff right now. Yeah, we're going to swab the inside of that vibrating shuttle. Go inside of here, get that nice and clean, tidied up, and also get it lubricated as well so that barbell bobbin, that long bobbin, is able to turn in there very, very easily, right? We want it to turn easily. Now we're going to take that barbell bobbin, we're going to make sure the thread is not over the front like it is right now, but behind. So I'm going to go ahead and get that tidied up a little bit. Now I've got the thread behind, you can see that, I think. We're going to drop it into this vibrating shuttle, like so, and we're going to bring it down that track right there. I think you can see that pretty clearly in the shot, but we'll get a little bit closer. Adjust that camera up just a little bit. There we go. So I'm coming down that track right there, and then I've got to hold the barbell bobbin in place and bring that thread all the way down to the bottom, and then I've got to bring that thread, once it gets down to the bottom, back up towards the middle so that it'll go underneath that spring. You can see right now I'm kind of holding the top and I'm bringing this back up, trying to bring it back up. It's really snug. Got to get it all the way back to the center point there. There we go. I think I got it in place. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it and drop it back into place. I'm going to give it just a little bit of guidance with my finger. And there you go. It's back in place again now. Now we'll go ahead and rotate that balance wheel, and we're going to pick that thread up. Keep an eye right about there so we can see that. Here we go. It's sweeping, coming back down. Now we're going to bring that thread right back up there to the middle. And you might say, well, how do we adjust a vibrating shuttle? How do we do that? Well, right here, if I take the camera off again, right there, you can see me zeroing in on it. Right there is an adjustment screw. See that? That's your adjustment screw right there to increase the pull down. Remember again, your vibrating shuttle, just like a bobbin case, is going to be pulling down to define that top stitch, while the upper tension right here is going to be pulling up to define the lock stitch. So they're pulling back and forth. This one's pulling up, this one's pulling down, pulling up, pulling down, pulling up, pulling down. And if we need more pull down to get a better top stitch, then we turn that clockwise in small increments, right? Small increments. You see where our thread is right now. It's coming out the top of that shuttle, and it's underneath this tension band right here. You got to get it underneath there, otherwise you're not going to have a well-defined top stitch, right? Okay? All right. And the rest of our setup, we might as well talk about it while we're right here. Our needle is going to go into that needle socket, and it's going to have the flat side pointing towards the pillar. So the flat side is going to be on the right, and then we're going to thread this from left to right. And if you look at the rest of the threading as we come off the top, we're coming off our spool right here, coming across here. We've got a thread guide right there. And then we're dropping down from there, straight down to the upper tension discs. And you want to make sure that that presser foot lever is up in the back when you're threading the machine. Otherwise, you're not going to get that thread deep into those discs. So you slide it into there, get it around those discs, up through here, get it through that really extended take-up spring. You can see that right there. And you always got to be careful around these machines that have that extended take-up spring, because you can catch it very easily and bend it. And then from there, we're going up to our take-up arm, right adjacent to that beautiful, beautiful faceplate. We come down here, there's a thread guide right there. And then there's a thread guide right here. Kind of bring it in from right to left, and then you're going to thread it again from left to right, okay, to get that into place. I'm going to get a little bit more music going. Let's do some more sewing on this 1930s model 128, right? Oh, very nice. That one's called You Scream. What is it? You scream, I scream, we all scream, or something like that. All kinds of fun songs today. So we're looking at this top stitching, and it really is quite lovely. I'm going to go across and see if I can show it to you. So some really, really good looking top stitching in both cases. And you might remember when we did that first row on top, I looked at the back of the material and I thought, uh-oh, we don't have quite enough pull from the upper tension, and our lock stitching looked a little bit weak. Beautiful top stitching on both of these rows, but you'll see when I turn it over, this is our lock stitching. That top row, we really did lack some of that definition. I'm going to see if I can zoom in even a little bit closer, see if this camera will let me do it. We'll turn it like this too, you'll be able to see it maybe. And so we bumped that upper tension up, and then we were able to, on that second row, let me come up here by this lighting, I think it'll help a little bit. Purple's not a real favorite color of the camera, but I wanted to use it at least initially so we could see it on Easter Sunday, which is when I recorded this. Bring that back a little bit. And so we bumped that upper tension up by adjusting this so it would pull a little bit better. And we're able to get a better result off of this purple, awful purple that the camera doesn't like very much, and get that second row and really get a nice looking lock stitch on there. Really, really quite lovely. Very, very nice. You can see a little bit of crinkling there. Probably means our presser foot pressure is just a little bit too high. But purple is one of those colors that when you get it right, I'm going to get it away from that LED light. When you get it right, it just really, really highlights the beauty of those stitches nicely, doesn't it? I think this will be our cue that we're going to have to stay away from that LED light when we're trying to look at this stitching up close. But that's our lock stitching again, and you really can see a move up as far as that definition when you get to that side over there. So our stitching on the other side, you can see the difference we brought here. I actually had it backwards. Let me try that one again. This is our top stitching. Both of those rows are looking really, really good. Change the camera angle a little bit. We'll come straight over the top. Okay, now we're going to look at the lock stitching. You'll see the impact we brought again. That top row right here on this side, where my finger is, not nearly as defined as that other row once we bump that upper tension up. I'll try to get a little bit closer and you'll really see the profound impact that we brought. Look at that. It's just unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable how much better defined that lock stitch is by just bumping that upper tension up. So just keep that in mind as you're doing various sewing on your machines. It's not really a mystery. It's not a mystery at all how you get beautiful stitching. You just have to understand the concept. There we go. You have to understand the concept of how the machine operates, right? Upper tension. What does it do? Type it in the live chat. What part of the stitching is it defining? Is it the top stitching or the lock stitching? if you typed in the live chat that this is going to be pulling up to give us a nicely defined lock stitch, then give yourself a pat on the back. You're absolutely right. This is so essential to accomplishing that. And then down here we've got that vibrating shuttle, and that's going to be pulling down to define the top stitch, right? So we have to realize they're in a tug of war. This is pulling down, this is pulling up, this is pulling down, this is pulling up. And when they make friends, you get stitching like this. Beautiful stitching like this, both on the vinyl and also on this cotton as well. It's absolutely spot on. The same thing on the lock stitching. Once they make friends and you get that adjustment right, you've got some beautiful lock stitching as well on these materials also. And by the way, thank you to our wizard back here for holding this cord back. I've got this 1930s model 128 plugged in with all of its brand new wiring coming right off the back of here, running along the back of here. And if you're curious where we started with this machine, let me go back on the tripod and I'll show you where we started with the wiring on this machine, on Kate's machine. And you're going to be like, whoa, we really had quite a bit of wiring to do. And the answer is yes, we did. See if I can show it to you a little bit more over here. We'll look at it in this open space. So this is the original wiring right here. Got it in this Ziploc bag, so Ziploc bag. And it was a hodgepodge of wiring, as you can see. Very, very tattered. Very, very scary. Also had extra wiring intermingled with it to complete that circuit. I did it in a much safer way when it was rewired and got rid of some of the original hardware that was really creating some major problems. Old light bulb, old hardware, old bobbin winding tire. And now we've got all new, it's safe, it's not a fire hazard anymore. And Kate will be able to look at that and go, holy mackerel, I can't even believe I plugged that thing in, because it was definitely dangerous, definitely something you don't want to be operating the machine with. And that might be true of your machine as well. Your machine might also be a hazard when it comes to safety. So if it is, send it into the temporary workshop, which isn't going to be open much longer, because now that I've got a property identified and Susie and I are going down there to finalize everything, we're not going to be operating under this one much longer. Not much longer. And all the people in Minnesota are going, oh geez, we just got you and now we're losing you again. What's up? So, but that's the way it goes, right? I got to get into a permanent location and got to get that going. Yeah. What do I have next for a song? My Blue Heaven, I think it is. My Blue Heaven. Let's do some canvas now. We're going to do some canvas. I'll zoom in on that so you can watch this needle do its little double bop. A little bit closer. All right, 2 layers of canvas. Not a big challenge for this machine, but gives us an idea of what it's capable of doing, right? We might even try flipping it over and trying 4. I don't know. I don't know about that. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, very nice. Stitching's all over the place. I didn't sew very straight, but that's okay. Yeah, very, very nice. A bit harder to see this stitching. I might have to turn it to the side. Take that camera off, see if we can get a clearer view of this. Alright, I'm going to try to get the right angle on this. This LED light is really playing havoc on trying to see this stitching. That's our top stitching right there. 2 layers of canvas. Alright, I'm going to go blind. Turn over, look at that lock stitching. Very, very nice. Although I did sew off course a little bit. You can see me jittering around right there. Not so great. Haha. Canvas is a tricky material to sew on. It truly is. Well, we got some really good results here as we're going across. All right. Let's move on. We got canvas. We've got canvas that we just sewed back over here. And we've got some of this vinyl, and we've got cotton as well that we did, this purple stuff. I think we'll go on to some denim now. Let's try some denim. All right, let's do some denim now on this very, very cool All right, let's do 4 layers. 4 layers of this. All right, let me pause this real quick. I'm going to pause that real quick. We're going to take a look at this denim stitching. We just went through 4 layers of this. Not a big challenge for this machine at all. Not a big challenge. You can see from the edge what 4 layers of denim actually looks like. Not a light sew-off for sure. We'll see if we can zoom in on that, get a better look at that stitching. I'm going to hold it up. I've been trying to lay it down, but it's a little bit more challenging to see it that way. Yeah, I think I'll do it like this. Or like that. Now the camera's focused finally. The camera's on Easter Standard Time, I think, today. Doing this on Easter Day. Yeah, all in all, some good looking stitching. Really quite lovely. Quite lovely. Got to get the right angle for this camera to be able to showcase that stitching. Really, really nice. Very, very nice. Now we'll take a look at that lock stitching on the back. We'll kind of turn this around. 4 layers of denim. That's what it looks like right there. Take a look at this lock stitching as well. Once the camera decides it's going to focus on that material. Yeah, maybe I'll come out like this and see if I can get closer, but then I get that shadow effect, don't I? Let's try setting it down. I think I might get a better angle from over there. Maybe like that, huh? Nope, that totally washes it out. Let's try a white background over here. See if that helps. I'll figure it out eventually by the end of this premiere. So that's our lock stitching. Lock stitching looks really, really quite nice. A little bit better of an angle right there. Very, very nice. Top stitching again right here. You can see that much easier from that angle, can't we? Very, very nice top stitching. Lock stitching again. Yeah, maybe this white background is going to be our key, huh? This white background will help us out a little bit in getting that camera to be able to focus on that. Yeah, nice lock stitching and also nice top stitching. So I'm going to put this back up on the tripod. Maybe we can see if we can do, I don't know if we can pull off 8 layers or not. I might give it a go. Let me zoom back in over there. See if we can do 8 layers. I don't know that we've done 8 layers of denim for quite a while. I might need some inspirational music to be able to accomplish that. Let's see how we do here. What choices do I have for inspiration on music? Camptown Races is the one we just heard. How about Give My Regards to Broadway? That sounds like a good one. I don't know if we're going to be able to fit this underneath the presser foot, to be honest with you. I think that might be too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this apart and we'll fold it so we get 6 layers instead of 8 layers, because I don't think we're going to be able to put it underneath the presser foot. It's not going to be able to do it. almost got all this thread out. All right, let's see if we can pull off 6 layers. So there's 2, 4, and 6. You think that's not a difficult sew-off? Check that out from the side. Trying to see it on the screen. There we go. 6 layers. We'll see if we can get through it. Let's see if we can get through it. It's going to be really tight. Underneath that presser foot, really, really tight. Give my regards to Broadway. Gotta love that. Next one is called Chicago. All right, no guarantees. 6 layers of denim. Let's see how we do. 1923, 128. 1923, model 128. Here we go. Give it our best shot. Very nice, very nice. This machine has been waiting for a heavier sew-off, apparently. 6 layers of denim. Very nice. Wow. You can see that in the shot or not. Yeah, let's get closer. Six layers, folks. That's some serious sewing. I'm going to go over by this white background that seems to work pretty well for the camera. That's what we're looking for right there. Yes. Aha! The thicker we go, the heavier we go, the more this 1923 model 128 that belongs to Kate likes it. It's like, don't do that lightweight stuff. I don't want to deal with that. I want something hard, something difficult. Like 6 layers of denim. That'll about do it, yeah. So a beautiful, beautiful top stitch. You can see that in the shot. Absolutely gorgeous. Now we're going to flip it over and see how we did on that lock stitch. Here's our lock stitch right there. Did we pull it off? Yeah, pretty much. Probably could use a little bit more upper tension, but all in all, really a lovely, lovely lock stitch. Really, really nice. Let's look at that lock stitch like this. It's going to come in just a little bit clearer, I think. Very, very nice. Wow. And again, look at what we went through. 6 layers of denim. Haha. Beautiful top stitching. Beautiful lock stitching as well. And a little bit more upper tension to make it even a little bit more defined, but really, really quite lovely. Quite lovely. Yeah, really nice. All right, let's throw that back in our pile. Right over here by our canvas and by our vinyl and by our cotton. We're going to create a little bit of a pile over there. And what do we focus on now? I'm not even going to deal with these 2 little pieces of denim. It's not even a challenge. We'll focus on some of our other sew-offs like this, made to look like fleece, but it's actually 100% polyester. We've got Italian leather. I believe that's Italian leather. We've got some upholstery material, outdoor material, some parchment paper, all kinds of things. We even have some satin over here with some stiffener in it. So we might give that a go as well. Let's get this back over on the tripod. We'll do our next sew off. Way out there. We're out in La La Land. Yeah, right about there I think is pretty good. Maybe we'll do some of that fleece material next, huh? Let's do some of that fleece material. 2 layers of that. I talked about it before, I need to do it. I'm going to spritz some water on the carpeting. I'm getting some static electricity off of this fleece material. And running the heater down here, and it really dries the air out quite a bit, doesn't it? Gave some of these away already. Some of these little bottles. You see that? If I better go out the other way. Really, really helpful when it gets to be winter time and even late winter time like it is now to cut out some of that static electricity big time. What is this? L something. L something. All right. So 100% polyester made to look like fleece. Let's give this a go. All right, let me mute it for a second so you can listen to this 1923 Model 128 do its magic. All right, here we go. Got a little bit more speed out of it that time. I've been taking it kind of easy peasy, haven't I? Been taking it really, really easy. Take a look at this stitching on this fleece material, fake fleece material, not real fleece. Polyester, 100% polyester. Stuff's a lot of fun to sew because it gives such a depth to that stitching. Let's come out like this, and we'll go over by our little white space over here again so we can take the camera off the tripod and take a closer look at that stitching. It really is quite spectacular. Quite spectacular. I'm hoping we can get close enough to see it against this white background. Oh my goodness. Very tough sew off on this 100% polyester made to look like fleece material because it's got such a density to it. It's got such a poofiness. And I'll tell you one thing, this 1923 Model 128 loves, apparently, poofiness. Beautiful, beautiful top stitching. And again, it's not a super light sew-off. If you look at it from the side, pretty thick stuff. We'll flip it over like this and take a look at that lock stitching. Once the camera says, yeah, I'll focus on that. What the heck? Yeah, I'll do that. This right over here, we have to kind of almost pull it apart, don't we? I'll see if I can show it to you like this, and then we'll see if we can manipulate it a little bit to get, there we go. I'm going to move the camera over. It's our lock stitching. Amazing. Absolutely amazing stitching by Kate's 1923 Model 128. Spectacular 3/4 size type machine. Really compact, and it's got a compact punch power to it as well. Really, really nice stitching. So that is our lock stitching on this fleece material. I'm not going to be able to hold the camera and pull it apart, or maybe I can do it like this. Yeah, kind of a fail. Yeah, it looks better that way. You can see it a little bit more easily, can't you? So beautiful lock stitching. Beautiful top stitching as well. I'll get my hand out of there because the camera's trying to focus on my hand and on my fingers. And let's move on to something else now. We've already gone through, I'm going to add this to our little pile over here. We've gone through 100% polyester made to look like fleece. We've gone through this canvas material. We've gone through 6 layers of denim. We've gone through vinyl, and we've gone through 100% cotton with a quilt batting. So already, look at our little sew-off sandwich on this Premiere. It's serious, right? But we got all this stuff to still try to do over here. We've got some leather to sew. I've also got to grab some genuine cowhide. It looks like I didn't grab that. So I'm going to grab some genuine cowhide, and then we also have this really, really delicate satin material as well. We can try stitching down that. But we're going to have to adjust the presser foot pressure, aren't we? Right now we're pretty much down pedal to the metal, and we're going to have to push our quick release right here. That removes all of our presser foot pressure. And then we're going to push this down in increments till we get to a point where I think we're going to have enough presser foot pressure to move this satin, but not create too much bunching and puckering on it, right? That's what we're going to try to avoid doing. So let me see if I can move this camera back over to the tripod again. We'll get on a little bit more music, and we'll see how we can do with this satin material. We've gone hardcore and heavy duty. Now we're going to try to go super, super light and see how Kate's 1923 Model 128 handles a sew-off like this. First of all, I got to put on a little bit more music. Maybe a little bit more music. Quick little pause on this. And that song we're listening to right now, if you didn't know, it's called Chicago. So if you're from Illinois, that's a song for you. I'm going to get a little bit of tea real quick here. And then we'll see if we can go through this delicate satin. Again, we backed off our presser foot pressure. Hopefully I backed it off enough, and we're going to be able to successfully go down this satin. It's already kind of got a weird little pucker thing going on over there. See if I can smooth it down just a little bit. All right, I'm going to do my best here. So Kate's 1923 Model 128. We're going through two layers of very, very delicate satin, and I've got a stiffener in between. Let's give this a try. We'll take it nice and slow, nice and slow. Yeah, take it nice and slow and give this machine a chance to catch its breath after going through some of the crazy sew-offs we've already done, right? I'm going to check our tension. Looks like our tension is really, really quite nice right now. I think we'll do one more stitch line, and we're going to do a shorter stitch on it. So if you're not familiar with this type of sewing machine, let me see if I can spin this around. So you can see again, I've got the knee controller plugged right in here, and there's the equivalent of a foot controller tucked away in there underneath this cover that this engages when you push it to the right, okay? So The other attributes of this machine is we've got a bobbin winder, and I've got a really weird bobbin winding tire on here right now, don't I? I wanted to try this because the regular bobbin winding tire was slipping a little bit on the rim of the balance wheel, and I wanted to try using an adaptation like this, which works really, really well. I'll try to demonstrate it before we end this premiere so you can see it. It really bites into that rim nicely and creates a really nice traction on there. And then it does its little magic pendulum back and forth in the sewing process. But this is what I wanted to show you, the stitch length controller right here. When it's screwed all the way in like this, it's going to give you the longest stitch that this model 128 can generate, which is going to be right around probably 7 stitches, almost 8 stitches per inch. Doesn't get quite as small, or I should say, doesn't get quite as large as some of the other contemporary Singer machines. But if we want to make it shorter, we're going to turn this counterclockwise like this. Give it about 3 or 4 turns like that, and then we're going to end up getting a stitch that's much, much shorter, at least considerably more shorter than the first one we did. And we'll take a look at that one right now. There we go. Take a look at that one right now. See if I can zoom in on it without getting shadow. So that's our top stitching. I'll kind of go across like that. We can see that on this satin material. Really quite nice. A little bit closer. Beautiful, beautiful stitching. Trying to keep the camera back because otherwise, see that shadow I get? See if I can get in there and sneak in there anyway. Yeah, there we go. So some beautiful, beautiful top stitching on this satin material. It's got a little stiffener in there to give us a little bit more stability. I'm going to turn it over now and see if we can look at that lock stitching. See how we did on that. This is our lock stitching. We'll zoom in on that, take a closer look at that. And you can see we did get a little bit of puckering on there, not horrible, but we did get a little bit of puckering because the material is just so delicate. See our needle passing through there, those little puncture points on the bottom. And I didn't talk about needle yet, shame on me. We've got a Schmetz 9014 universal needle, so really a little bit overkill on this satin material. We'd want to go with a much smaller needle. Probably even a 7511 would do very nicely on this type of material, this satin material. Let me get a little bit closer. Well, some beautiful lock stitching, some beautiful top stitching on this satin material as well. See if I can turn it over one more time. Show that to you. Yeah, very nice. So beautiful top stitching. Paper's trying to grab me. Beautiful top stitching. Beautiful lock stitching as well. And now what we're going to do is we're going to shorten it up. You saw me adjust that stitch length controller right there, just above this beautiful badge mark. And also the serial plate that just absolutely dumbfounded us in one of the previous live streams. We were trying to look this up, and we were coming up with a model 66. And it's because when you go into the G series, they do a weird split on ISMAX. And when we scrolled down, we found the sequence numbers that would have started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got 7 numbers, right? 1, 2, 4. Yeah, 7 numbers in one letter. And it was telling us it was a model 66. And it wasn't until we scrolled all the way down we found another breakout of the same bracket. And then all of a sudden it said, no, it's not a model 66, which we already knew, duh. But we then discovered that it's a model 128 from 1923. And if any of you are curious to do that lookup yourselves, I don't know if this camera is going to be able to zoom in on it or not. Maybe. See if we can pull it off here. So if you're doing a search like this, we can go up here. We're going to do a new search. I'm going to type in something like singer serial numbers. Let's see, maybe I already have it. Aha! It's a recent search, so we're going to go down to that. We're going to pick that. And then we're going to go up here to the International Sewing Machine Collectors Society. Where are they? There they are. Give that a click. And the page is going to look something like this, minus the PDF thing that's popping up there right now. See if we can scroll down to the G series. See, it kind of looks like this. We start with no prefix, which was pre-1900. Scroll, 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 scroll. And we're still scrolling. Aha! There's the G series finally. Highlight that. We'll click that. Another advertisement. Come on, Ismax, leave us alone. Leave us alone, man. Now we're getting into the G series, right? Sort of. Slow but sure. And you can see what happened the first time is we're looking at this G series, we're scrolling down and we're looking for a 7-digit number. So we know we have to get through all these 6-digit numbers. First, we're scrolling more, we're still scrolling. We're still scrolling. Now we're in the 6s, the 7s. Now we're in the 8s. Now we're in the 9s. So we finally get to this point right here. And here we're transitioning from a 6-digit number to a 7-digit number. So it would beg the question that in this bracket span right here between the 6 and then going into the 7, that we would have our serial number, logically we should have our serial number in between that bracket, but it's telling us it's a model it's a model 66 from 1911, which makes no sense. And again, the serial number we're looking for is this one right here. 7 digits starting with 0. So it should be right there. But that doesn't make sense. It's not a model 66, right? It's not a model 66, but that's our beginning 7 series right there. 7 digits. And the 0 that we're starting with would be in there, but that's not it. We got to scroll all the way down. All the way down. Gonna make you go blind here. Seven digits we're looking for. It's way down there, apparently. All right, I'm just going to keep going and 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 going. See how illogical it is? It shouldn't be all the way down here, but it is, because Ismax is apparently drinking too much coffee. We're still scrolling. And we're still scrolling. And we're still scrolling. Yeah, we're not even there yet. We're still... I should have music to do this by. Matter of fact, I will. Let me put on some music to do this by. Because this is just goofy. Alright, let's go over here. Let's see. Now, we already did Chicago. Let's do something else. Let's see. Oh, funky something. That's fun. Let's do that. Yeah. Alright. We're still scrolling. Dang, we like crashed and burned there. What's going on? I went too far. Let's go the other way. All right, we finally found it, I think. Almost. We're really close. There it is. I'll see if I can highlight it. So we had to do all that scrolling, and now we finally found our machine. 15,000 made, July 3rd, 1923. And our serial number, let me mute this real quick. Our serial number for this machine, 128, there it is. Okay. Our serial number for this machine is, let me see if I can read it from here, 0148393. 0148393. So we had to do all that scrolling, I mean forever, and now we finally found our 128. At least I think we did. Maybe we did. 0148 014. Yeah, it's in there. 0148. So Jane's night, whatever is it? Where is it? 15,000, July 3rd, 1923. But you can see how ridiculous it is. We had to do all that scrolling. We started way up on top, and we had to come all the way down to that point, because way up here, I'm not even going to do it again. But you can see we had to go all the way up there in order to find that serial number. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just really, really silly. It's really silly the way things are set up sometimes, right? Oh, I lost all our cool music. Hold on. There we go. All right. So now we adjusted our stitch length down over here. We're going to do another stitch now with this 1923. And I said Jane, I meant Kate. I know what I meant. I'm just totally befuddled by Ismac's serial numbers looking up. So this is, this is Kate's machine. Not Jane, unless she changed her name. All right. All right, let's try this again. All right, here we go. I want to make it shorter than that. That's a little shorter, but I want to make it shorter than that. Yeah, let's go shorter. Let's go shorter, see if we can do that. I don't even know where my camera is pointing right now. Hold on a second. There we go. I didn't turn it enough. I turned it more, and now we're gonna give it a try again. All right, take 3. Here we go. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Ha ha! That's what I was looking for. All right. Let's bring it over here. Over to our little white surface so we can see what we're looking at, hopefully. All right, that was a cool song. Kind of crazy cool. All right. There we go. Beautiful shot. The camera's being so nice right now. So you can see our satin. We did our first 2 rows. I tried to do it shorter. I didn't go far enough. Then I crank it about 3 or 4 more turns. Then we got a beautiful, beautiful stitch line on this satin material. 2 layers of satin with that stiffener in between. Just beautiful. right, let's turn it over and see how we did on the lock stitching. Isn't that lovely? It presents so well, Let's give this a turnover. And you can see our pressure foot pressure is still a little bit too heavy, isn't it? We got some of that puckering on there. Very, very nice. So other than a presser foot pressure adjustment, all in all, we've got some really good stitch balance, some real good tensioning as well between these two layers. And we don't have much of a layer to work with on this satin. It's so ridiculously thin. See that from the side? But this 128 that belongs to Kate did such a brilliant job with our top stitching, absolutely spot on, and also our lock stitching as well. Again, a little bit of a presser foot adjustment and we would be absolutely golden. Absolutely golden. Yeah, really nice. So far on this premiere, we've gone through a wide field of materials already, including the satin we just did. We've done satin, we've done 100% cotton, we've done this vinyl material as well. You see our vinyl sew off right there. We've done these 6 layers of denim as well. Beautiful stitching there, really quite lovely. And we've done this canvas material. And then we did this fake fleece material as well. So our sew-off sandwich so far on this premiere looks a little something like that. And most people would say, hey, enough is enough. But we're gonna do a little bit more, I think. Don't you agree, Mr. Wizard? Yeah, we'll do just a little bit more than that. All right, so let me go back up on the tripod and we'll go after some leather. I'm gonna grab some 100% cowhide as well. Go after some cowhide. All right, maybe zoom back in there. All right, let me grab some cowhide and we'll give that a go next, I think. I've already got Italian leather, so we don't need that. Now we have to adjust. Now we have to adjust our presser foot pressure again. Here I am. See, it is me. Ha-ha! We have to adjust our presser foot pressure and make sure we have enough pressure to move this genuine cowhide across, right? Let's push that down. I'm gonna go heavy, metal to the pedal to the metal, you know what I mean. All right, let's zoom back in. All right, I think I got it. All right, let's see if we can pull off this genuine cowhide, probably about 4 ounces of leather. We'll see if we can pull this off after all the sewing we've done on this needle already. See if we got enough to get her done. All right, here we go. Oh, I forgot to adjust the stitch length back. Aha! I'm thinking that's really going slow. It's because I got the stitch length so short right now. Leaping lizards. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll bump it up just a little bit. Gives a little bit more of an edge. Now we're going to go long on the stitch. Already did a short one. Now we're going to do a long one, right? camera's going to be able to focus on that or not. Yeah, we'll look at this closer in just a little bit. All right, now I'm going to turn this back clockwise, give us a longer stitch. I'm still going, still going, still going. Aha, there we go. All right, here we go back in again. Ah, that was a fun song. Fun song. I felt like it was in Mexico or something. That was awesome. All right, now we're going to do a long stitch on this genuine cowhide. We usually do the opposite, don't we? We normally go short and long. No, we usually go long and short. That's what I meant. And now we're doing short and long, right? I'm trying to look at the screen. I can't tell if we're zeroed in or not. There we go. That's better. Lovely stitch. Now we're going to do a longer one. See how we do on that one. All right. This again is Kate's 1923 Model 128. Let's give this a go. All right, here we go. Yes. Trying to get my knee on the controller there. Almost got it. Took that nice and slow. Nice and slow. Nothing wrong with that. What an interesting contrast, huh? What an interesting contrast. I bumped up that upper tension. I might have gone a little bit too far. And just to show you that this machine does have power, we'll do this next row. I hope I don't skip stitches going faster. We'll see if we can zip down it just a little bit faster on our third row. All right, so row number 1, row number 2. Now we're going to do row number 3, and I'll buzz down it just a little bit faster, give you an idea of the speed of Kate's 1923 Model 128. And I'm not going to go all the way, but you'll notice that I will be traveling at a much higher rate of speed. Yeah, a lot higher rate of speed. All right, here we go. Give it a little bit more of a burst at the end there. That was kind of fun. And this machine is going to be powered by what is it? I'm seeing it's a BT7 motor, and we're looking at right around 0.6 amps. Right around 0.6 amps is what we're running with this machine. And before the rewiring was done, it wasn't getting anything close to that amount of power. It was really, really quite weak. And now it's got quite a bit of get up and go and gumption. Even against 100% cowhide like this. So I'm moving this, let me broaden the shot, and then we'll move over to our little light surface so that we're able to see things more easily. Kind of hard to see it over here by the LED light. We'll bring it over here, and then hopefully we can get a good glimpse of this. I'm hoping. So as we're going across that top row, I didn't do a measurement, but it's probably going to be around 8 to 10 stitches per inch. And then you can see we went across and we did those 2 other rows. And I did back off the upper tension a little bit because on that middle row, we didn't have quite enough definition on that top stitch. But you'll notice on the row just above it, get even closer there, the row just below it, the row just below it, we're able to increase that definition quite a bit more. Go across like this. I really, really like that 8 to 10 stitches per inch. It's really, really nice, isn't it? And of course we can increase the stitch quality and the stitch definition if we were to go with a leather needle, right? We're sewing 100% cowhide. a leather needle would serve us much better than this universal needle that has a slightly rounded point. But with the sheer power and grit of Kate's machine, we're going through it very, very nicely. Very, very nicely, and with quite a bit of ease too. Let's see if we can get over here and look at this another way. Yeah, you can see how we increase that definition on that top stitch by backing off that upper tension just a little bit. Look at that middle row where a couple points were lacking definition, and then we bumped it down, and that vibrating shuttle was able to pull down with greater force. And on that last row we did, we really got a beautiful, beautiful top stitch, didn't we? Really, really lovely. And if you look at it from the side, I'll just kind of grab this edge right over here. You see, we're going through some significant leather right there. We really are. And getting some beautiful results, especially on that last row. I really love that. We turn it over, look at the lock stitching. Kind of start up here, and we'll go like this first. Look at that lock stitching next. Yeah, very, very nice. Very nice. And even on that last row we did, which would be all the way on the top there, where I buzzed down much faster, a lot more speed, we still maintained beautiful stitch integrity, and we had no skip stitches, even using a universal needle that has that rounded point. We don't have the benefit of a leather needle with that serrated point, right? That sharp point that slices through the leather. We had to punch through it, and we still got a great result with our lock stitch that you're seeing right now. And also that top stitch as well. As we flip it over again, you can see that beautiful, beautiful top stitching that we did also. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to go back to this music again. Hold on. This is Don't Fret. Don't fret. I have no idea what we're fretting about, but we always have challenges during premieres and live streams, so I won't fret about it. That's what the song is saying, right? The song is saying, don't fret, you bet. Hey. All right, let's see what we're going to do next. Even closer. Get really close. I might even hand turn this next one, just for fun. Ah, the trumpet. I love the trumpet in jazz, don't you? All right, so we got some of this Italian leather, looks like. There's some of this Italian leather. And I think I will. I'm going to broaden the shot a little bit, and you'll see me actually hand turning the machine as well. Maybe we'll do a row that's hand turning, and then another row I'll do it with the motor, okay? Yeah. All right, we're gonna do a row first of all. I'll turn it kind of with my finger, and then we'll engage the motor and do another row after that, maybe a shorter row, okay? All right, let's see what we do. And if you can see that needle, it's doing a double bob. So I'm turning it with my finger. I'm going to stop right there and I'll zoom in on the needle. You got to see the little needle do its double bob. It's really fun. The double bob needle. Yeah, like right there. That's cool. That's really cool. Watch that needle as I hand turn this. Shut this off real quick. So down it goes. Bop. 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 Yeah, it goes down and then it comes up a little bit and then it goes all the way back up again. I think it's just the coolest thing. Bop. Bop. Haha. That's so much fun. All right, we're going to stop right there, and then we'll do another row, but this time I will engage the motor so that none of you fall asleep during this premiere, right? None of you fall asleep. I'm also noticing our lock stitch is a little bit overly poppy, so I'm going to back this off even a little bit more. I'm going to turn it this way, a nice full turn, so we can get some of that top stitching back and give it more definition. You can always evaluate your sewing as you're going and then make adjustments so that when you do that second row, it's hopefully going to have a little bit better balance as far as tension. So I'm going to bring this over here now, get that back into place, and now off camera, or on camera, whoops, wrong way. On camera, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this probably about 10 turns counterclockwise so we can get that shorter stitch. At least I'm hoping we can. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's probably enough. All right, so now we're going to zoom back in. Wrong way. Hard to see that screen. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to engage the motor and we'll try stitching down and laying down this next row, and then we'll take a look at these stitches up close. Okay? All right, here we go. Ooh, I went really short on this. Really short. Slow it down, slow it down. Perfect. Well done. And I'm glad we made that adjustment. You'll be able to see that top stitching on this really small stitch is much better, but we may have to adjust it back a little bit the other way, because as you change the stitch length on a machine, when you're doing a longer stitch, you need a little bit less pull to get that lock stitch sometimes. As you're doing a shorter stitch, you need to increase that upper tension to get a better lock stitch out of it. So I think we'll do that stitch one more time, and I'm going to adjust that upper tension back the other way. Now we can look at the contrast between the two. I'm going to put that back down. Beautiful top stitch. Now we're going to do this so we can take a look. Oops. Take a look at comparatively. I should have left it alone. I'm trying to do this with my left hand. Haha. All right. So now we're going to increase our upper tension again a little bit. One turn, a little bit over. Yeah, not too far. All right, we'll try this one more time. All right, you ready? Here we go. Let me get it up just a little bit. Oh, goodness. There we go. I'm going to do it right there. All right, here we go. Still a nice top stitch, and hopefully that adjustment will give us a little bit better lock stitch than our first attempt at sewing at this stitch length. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Give that a pull. It's back in place. Oh yeah, you can see it's starting to come back into form very nicely. We're not quite enough there, but we're close enough. All right, I'm going to move these leathers over by each other. We'll look at the genuine cowhide and the Italian leather at the same time. Kind of see the contrast between the two leather types. All right, let's bring this Italian over there. I'm really a big fan of leather, as most of you know. So this is our original sew-off with the genuine cowhide. Beautiful, beautiful top stitching. Now we're looking over at this Italian leather. We've got also some really nice looking stitching, but I wanted to really make sure that we maintained integrity on that lock stitch. So we're going to flip that over in just a second, and then we'll look at that to see comparatively how we did. Lovely stitching, don't you agree? Leather is just a little bit of magic when it comes to giving us some gorgeous, gorgeous stitch definition. It really is absolutely spectacular, isn't it? So let's turn over this Italian leather. It has kind of a vinyl backing on it almost. So we're not only going through leather, we're also having to go through a little bit of vinyl at the same time. So you can see our first stitch row is absolutely gorgeous. The one on the bottom there, the long stitch. We had it balanced very, very nicely with that lock stitch. Not as much so on that short stitching. And a lot of you would say, well, wait a second, didn't you say when you have less of a span that you don't need as much tension? Well, it's true, but it changes between material types. You see here we don't have nearly as much definition on that shorter stitch, do we? We don't have nearly enough compared to that longer stitch we did right there. So if we were to stitch it one more time, would we be able to get something closer to that? Because our top stitch is absolutely spot on, isn't it? As you look at it, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful stitching. All the way around. So maybe we will try that, huh? Maybe we'll try it just one last time, and we'll sew at the same stitch length, but we're going to bump up this upper tension even more. And the one thing we don't have adjusted right now, and I've talked about this in other live streams, you can see our fine adjuster right there. That little screw. If we wanted to give that spring, that incredibly long take-up spring, even more range of motion, we would loosen this screw and we would push this up. So right now we're pretty long as far as that range of motion, but we're still not at the max. You can see that right there. We're still not at the max. We still have all that space over there. We could slide that up to be able to define that lock stitch more. But if you go too far with that check spring as far as the range of motion, you can also steal some of that top stitching as well, right? So we can't go too far too fast, otherwise it'll cause problems and it'll steal away the beauty of some of this top stitching that we're loving right now on this Italian leather. So we're going to give it one more try, and we'll try bumping up that upper tension even more. See if we can pull that stitching even tighter than it is right now on the bottom. All right, let me lock it in right there. There we go, that's pretty good. And we'll do one more row. I've got just enough room, I think, to tuck that in. I hope. I hope. Get it right about on that edge right there. But first of all, I have to make that tension adjustment, don't I? And also, I've got to give us a little bit more music. Let me see what I can find here. How about, we already did Don't Fret. Let's see, what is that called? Two Hearts. Two Hearts, you got to love that. Two Hearts. All right, let's go up on the upper tension even higher. See if we can define that a little bit more. All right, here we go. Hope I didn't go too far. We're closer, but we still aren't far enough on this Italian leather because it has that vinyl backing. So even as far as I bumped up that upper tension, we still don't have quite enough to sew this. And that's where when you get into a certain type of leather sewing, you learn the sweet spots that you need in order to accomplish the outcome that you want. Right? You learn how to adjust that machine that you're working with so you can get the outcome you want. Come over here, we'll go over by this leather again. Look at that top row is the last one that we sewed. We've done all this leather right here. You can see the genuine cowhide on top. You can see the Italian on the bottom. Italian leather tends to be a little bit trickier, especially when it has this vinyl backing. So we maintain some beautiful stitch definition, even on that last row we did right there, with all the adjustment I did on that upper tension to take away some of the vibrating shuttle pull, so we could have a little bit better definition on the bottom. But I don't think I went far enough. I did not go far enough. So let's turn this over and see if we got any closer. Got any closer on that last row at the top. Turn it kind of like this. Yeah, we got a little bit closer. If you look at it real close, we're starting to rein it in, but still not there yet. Still not there, even on that top row. And the other way we could overcome that without making such a drastic adjustment is to adjust that take-up spring. See right there, especially, it's starting to rein in. But we're still not there yet with all the adjusting that we did on the short stitching. So lesson learned, right? We adjusted that take-up spring back a little bit so that our top stitching would stay nicely defined, which we accomplished on both leather types. But for the Italian leather stuff, in order to rein in that lock stitch, in all likelihood, we've got to adjust this to the maximum. And I won't do that right now because we got some other sew-offs to do. But just remember that that's what this is for. The longer range of motion for this check spring, the more pull you're going to get on that lock stitching. And that's what we're lacking right now on this Italian leather. We're lacking that pull factor. So it's a lesson learned even without doing it. We don't need as much pull on the genuine cowhide, especially considering it doesn't have that vinyl backing like this Italian leather. This is a combination of Italian leather and also like a vinyl backing. We do great on the longer stitching, not so much so on the shorter stitching, right? So what we have left is this stuff right here. I don't know how much time we have left. I think we're running out of time real quick here. We'll see what we can fit in on some final sew-offs for this 1923 128. Just a gorgeous machine. Just look at it and it's like, wow. Especially with that beautiful decal pattern on there as well, which is the La Vencedora. The La Vencedora decal pattern. It almost looks like a Tiffany pattern, but it's different. The coloring, the composition and such, right? Yeah, a little bit different. All right, so what do I have? I've got some upholstery. I've got some of that outdoor material as well. You can see what we have left right here, and also the paper as well. Maybe we'll just kind of pivot over to the paper real quick. We'll do some paper pivoting and maybe put on some music as well to dance to. Yeah, something a little peppy-deppy here. All right, let's see what we got. Get that paper in place. And I don't have a huge number of layers. What do I have? I have 4 layers. If we do it like that, that's hardly even a challenge. But that's what I have prepared. So we'll give that a go first, right? We'll give that a go first. Adjust our stitch length. Longer again. Which means I might have to adjust our upper tension, right? Because we cranked it way up, and now we might be taking away from that top stitch. We'll try it once like this, and then we'll adjust it accordingly. What is this called? Little umbrellas. Little Umbrellas, that's going to be an interesting song. Little Umbrellas. All right, let's give this a go. 4 layers of Amazon Prime packing parchment paper. Not even a challenge. We'll try it first and then maybe we'll bump it up. All right, here we go. All right, stop right there. Yeah, it's a constant battle. I think we have a pretty good adjustment right now. Pretty good adjustment. Yeah, I like it. Trying to watch the screen to see if we run out of time. Yeah, I'm gonna back this off just a little bit, this upper tension. See, our top stitch isn't quite as defined as I want it to be. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And sew it one more time. All right, here we go. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, let's take a look at this parchment paper. Again, we only did 4 layers. I think we've done as many as 14 layers on some of the live streams with various machines. And again, the purpose of a premiere or live stream is not to show the maximum of what the machine can do. It's just to take it through the paces and to see the greatness. And I'm glad I backed off that upper tension, because when I look at that second row right here, you can see all of a sudden that definition coming back into play. I'm going to add the leather over to that pile, and we'll move this over so we can look at it on that white surface again, huh? Look at it on that white surface. This is our 4 layers of Amazon Prime packing parchment paper. There's a mouthful. Very, very nice. Very nice. Let's turn it over and look at the other side. Take a look at that lock stitching. And there's no mistaking the lock stitching, because you can see those puncture points through the paper like bullet holes going through there. Really, really cool to see that. And all of a sudden you realize the density of that paper as you see the displacement of those little divot points almost on there, aren't they? Really quite amazing. Very, very nice. Of course, we're all fans of the top stitch because we don't want to see the divot thing. We want to see the beautiful stitching, don't we? We want to see that beautiful stitching definition. Stitch definition. Yeah. So our sew-offs so far, if I can get all this back into line again, somewhat. Let me bring it over here so it's a little bit closer. So we just did our Amazon Prime packing parchment paper. Ba ba ba. We did our Italian leather as well. You can see that right there. We did our genuine cowhide. We did our fake fleece, which is 100% polyester. We did our canvas material. It's in there somewhere. Did our canvas material. We did our denim, heavy-duty denim, 6 layers of that. Look at the thickness of that. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? We did our vinyl as well. 2 layers of that, and no, we did not use a Teflon foot. We did our 100% cotton as well with the quilt batting. So our sew-off sandwich for this premiere for Kate's 1923. Reverse. We also did our satin as well. Our satin was like on the bottom there hiding. Don't hide. Come out and play. Yeah, beautiful stitching on this satin as well. You can see that in the shot. So our sew-off sandwich so far, our Sewing Olympics, looks something like that. That's a lot of sewing, folks. But we're going to go just a little bit further, I think. Just a little bit further. Yeah, why don't we? Got some of this upholstery material. We have some of this outdoor material as well. And then we even have some cotton with stiffener in it. We could also do cotton with 8 layers like we've done before. Maybe we'll do that next, huh? We'll do the 8 layers of cotton. Let me get that up there. Different color. Hopefully the camera likes it. Hopefully. All right, we'll zoom in right about to there, I think. So let's fold this for 8 layers now. See if we can get through 8 layers of this 100% cotton. When you get up to 8 layers, it's a little bit more of a challenge, isn't it? So 2 layers to start. Come on, just a little bit on this shot. 2 layers to start. Fold it in half, gets us up to 4. And then we fold it one more time, it gets us all the way up to 8 layers of 100% cotton. That's a pretty thick sew-off, folks. It really is. It's a pretty thick sew-off. Show it to you like that. Make sure I counted that right, otherwise I might have 10 or 12 layers, right? So 2 layers, 4 layers, 8 layers. Okay, I'm going to turn it like this. Get that into place, and we'll see if we can get through these 8 layers of 100% cotton. And I do have that presser foot at the max right now, so that should give us enough oompah to be able to get through these layers okay, I'm hoping. Right? All right. Am I getting down to a clock count on? I can't tell. Hopefully I'm not running out of time. All right. Give us a couple turns. There we go. Now we're in traction. All right, here we go. Took that kind of slow and kind of went up and down a little bit for fun. Get our needle up. Let's see what 8 layers of cotton looks like. And I didn't turn it over yet to look at that lock stitch. Looks like we nailed that as well with these 8 layers. So we'll bring this camera down and we'll take a look at this over on that white surface, right? For some reason that's the trick when it comes to getting the camera to be happy. Alright, I believe this is our top stitching if I'm not mistaken. So we can get in there nice and close and take a look at that. Very, very nice. And our top stitching. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, look at it from the side. If you think it's a light sew-off, that's what 8 layers of cotton looks like. 8 layers of cotton. 8 layers of cotton. Let's turn it over and look at that lock stitching. With these 8 layers of cotton. Did we have enough upper tension? Yeah, maybe a little bit on the light on the upper tension. We backed it way off, right? You see some areas where we don't have quite as much definition as we might want. All in all, it's quite good. But other areas we're a little bit weaker on that upper tension. And again, our take-up spring is not at the maximum, which when you get it to those higher levels and thicker layers of material, you want to consider going with the full range of motion on that check spring. Some areas were really quite weak. Matter of fact, I think we'll sew it one more time and we'll adjust that upper tension back to a higher level since we don't have the benefit of that check spring going full range of motion. Go like about a turn and a half. See if that might be enough to get us where we want to be. All in all, we're pretty good, but we can always be better, right? We can always be better. Yeah, that top stitch looks really, really spot on. All right, so we're going to do this one more time. See if we can pull that lock stitch in even more with greater definition. And a little bit more music to do it to. This is called Girl on Top. I didn't make that up. I really didn't. That's the name of the song. Girl on Top. Not a fan of that song. I bumped it. I just did. All right, let's see if we can get a better lock stitch this time with even more definition, okay? All right, here we go. Nice and slow. And we might have taken away too much, or did I run out of, I might have run out of, I did. I ran out of long shuttle bobbin thread stuff. Look at that. Maybe we can try winding one, huh? Or I can wrap it up here. One of the two. Let me give this a clip, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. I wondered if that was going to happen. Oh yeah, we definitely reined it in. I like that a lot. Let's look at this, bring the camera over and we'll look at this over on the white section, the white surface area. So we're going to get our top stitching first. Here's where we ran out of bobbin thread, right over there. See that? So our top stitching is absolutely bang on. In both rows, there's where we still had bobbin thread right there. So if we turn this over with these 8 layers, and we look at that bottom row, let's see how much better we got on that lock stitching. Noticeably better, look at that. I'm going to shut off that music for a second. You see, making those adjustments makes a profound difference in stitch quality and caliber. As you go across, we'll start way over there. See how we were lacking that definition on that upper row? And then we made that upper tension adjustment, and all of a sudden, look at that bottom row comparatively. It just came to life, didn't it? Till we ran out of bobbin thread. Just really, really pops beautifully. So never underestimate the power of tension adjustments. That upper row right there, you can see, is lacking right in that center point. And then we made that adjustment, and that bottom row just came to life beautifully, didn't it? Really, really lovely. Really, really lovely. So I'm going to put on some more music for you all. And I'm going to look at maybe winding another bobbin, but it doesn't mean I'm going to do more sewing. I'm just going to wind it. Unless I run out of time, then I won't. Because I'm using this camera and I only have so much space to work with, don't I? Only so much space. Okay. Let's see if we can give this a go. It's turning very nicely. I'll put a piece of leather underneath there just in case once in a blue moon these things will slip. That way I've got something in there as a buffer in case that needle tries to come down a little bit. Yeah, we'll just do that. So I'll come over with the camera and just show you what I'm going to be doing. So this is spring loaded over here, right? This is spring loaded. You pull this out and then you saddle this in between so that it fits in there very, very nicely. Okay? And then what we do after that is we engage this bobbin winding tire to the balance wheel. That may be enough, maybe not. Not quite enough on there. Yeah, it goes back and forth and distributes that thread, doesn't it? Kind of a fun little function, isn't it? Kind of fun little function. And the way you thread this when you're doing a bobbin winding like that is you come off the top, you go to here, through that thread guide, then you come across the front of the machine, and you come through this little notch right there. You see that? You come up through the goal post, and then you bring it around the long barbell bobbin, and then it starts to wind it back and forth. I'll see if I can get that set up before I run out of time on the camera, and then we'll, yeah, maybe we'll stitch something else, maybe we won't. Let's see. Wow, I'm like a mile away. That's kind of fun. Yeah, we'll go over in this area. Plus you can see the front of the machine a little bit better that way, can't you? Yeah, lock this in. A little bit more music. And then we'll see if I can get this winding properly, huh? Alright. Yeah, I might as well just unthread this. I'll unthread this machine. Yeah, and I'll use the same spool of thread. Looking at my camera. Am I out of time? Not yet. Getting close, probably. All right, what kind of music? I like the music at the beginning much more. Let me go back to the good stuff. Pulling, what is it? Putting on the Ritz. Perfect music to do this with, right? Super duper! I think that's the words. Super duper. Ah, hold on. Come on, more music. Save me, save me. Yeah, I didn't do so great on the end there. All right, that's far enough. I didn't do a great job on that, but you get the idea. Root, root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. Not the greatest winding job ever, but oh well. Well, God bless you all. I might set this up to do a little bit more, maybe not. But we'll see you at the next live stream, which won't be for a while, because again, when you're watching this, Susie and I are down in Kentucky. Yeah, we are. Right about there. Yeah, that's a horrible job. Horrible job of winding, man. Yeah, I think I'll end here. Enjoy the music. I'm gonna rewind that bobbin again. That's awful. That's awful. Take care. God bless. Thanks, Kate, for the great machine. See ya.